So this is the second video on factorization, and we're going to look at factorizing quadratic trinomials. So I'm just going to explain what this means, right? Firstly, we know a trinomial has three parts. So as you look at example 1, x squared plus 11x plus 24, it's a trinomial because it has three parts. And quadratic means that the highest power of x is 2. Okay, so that there's an x squared, but there's nothing bigger than x squared. So if you look at there's your x squared. There's no x cubed or x to the power of 4s. That's the highest. Okay, so that's means it's quadratic and it's a trinomial. There's three parts to it. So I'm going to show you how we do it. This is very easy, but it takes a bit of practice. So what we do is, this works for all quadratic trinomials. So I'm going to imagine here that where it says x squared, imagine it's 1x squared. Alright? Now, the process is like this. I multiply the first number by the last number, and I get 24. And then I take out the middle number, and I get plus 24, and I get plus 11. Okay? So what I need to do, I need to find two numbers that multiply to give 24 and add to give 11. Okay, so what you do, think of factors of 24 and see if the factors add up to 11. So for example, 1 and 24. Okay, 1 times 24 is 24, so it multiplies to 24, but it doesn't add to 11. 2 and 12, it multiplies to give 24, but it adds to give 14. 3 and 8, that works. Okay, so 3 and 8 is perfect. So what we do, we're going to rewrite it as x squared. But instead of writing 11x, like we have here, we're going to change it to 3x plus 8x, because 3x plus 8x is 11x, right? X squared plus 3x plus 8x plus 24. Okay? And now look, it has four parts, and we know what any expression that has four parts, we split it into two separate pieces and work with them. So, like I did when I was working with the four-part expressions, I take out a common factor, look at the first two, x is common, and I'm left with x plus 3. That means that the x plus 3 automatically goes across to the other side. Now what do I have to multiply x plus 3 by to get 8x plus 24? I have to multiply it by plus 8, and then I put them together like we practiced. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making the trinomial into an expression with four parts. And then I'm doing the procedure for a four-part expression. Okay, so there's my answer. And you can check if it's right, because if you expand that, you should get what you started with. Let's look at the next one here. So, it's 1x squared minus 7x plus 12. So I multiply the front number by the last number. 1 times 12 is 12, and it's plus, it's positive. And I take out the number in the middle, it's negative 7. So I need to get the 12 when I multiply, and the negative 7 when I add. So what are my two numbers? Well, if you think about it, numbers that multiply to give 12, and add to give negative 7. Well, 3 and 4, 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 plus 4 is 7, but we need to change the signs up, don't we? Because we need to get negative 7 when we add them. So it's actually minus 3 and minus 4. Minus 3 times minus 4 is positive 12, and minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7. So what we're going to do is, we split the middle. Instead of having minus 7x, we're going to have minus 3x minus 4x. So look, x squared minus 3x minus 4x plus 12. Okay, it's the same thing, minus 3x minus 4x instead of minus 7x. Now we have a four-part term, split it 2 and 2. It's x times x minus 3. Remember, the x minus 3 will automatically become a factor on the other side. What do I have to multiply x minus 3 by to get minus 4x plus 12? Minus 4. And there's my factors. X minus 3, x minus 4. And we're done. Okay, let's try another one really quickly. We do really fast. So the 1 at the front, sorry, that doesn't look like a 1. The 1 at the front times the minus 15, so it's minus 15 when we multiply. take out the minus 2 in the middle, so we need minus 2 when we add. Two numbers that multiply to give minus 15 and add to give minus 2. Well, if they multiply to give a negative number, that means one is positive and one is negative. So the numbers are going to be minus 5 and positive 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the negative 2x with minus 5x plus 3x. So x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15. Now we have our 4-part expression, split it in two. X by x minus 5. The x minus 5 is automatically on the other side. And we put a plus 3, because plus 3 times x minus 5 gives you your 3x minus 15 like we want. So it becomes x minus 5 by x plus 3. So, next example. Now, one of the golden rules of factorization, which I didn't mention before but I should have, is that the first thing you always do is look for a common factor. Always. And you should divide that out first if there's a common factor. So for example, if you look at this example here, you have 3x squared plus 6x minus 72. If you look at the numeric parts, if you look at the numeric parts of that, you'll see that 3 is a common factor of each of them. So you can divide out the 3 and you can write that as 3 times x squared plus 2x minus 24. Right? And now we're going to factorize this piece here. Okay? So we're going to imagine our 1 at the front again. So we need minus 24 when we multiply, and we need plus 2 when we add. So what are our numbers? Okay, so because they multiply to give minus 24, a negative number, it means one is positive, one is negative. So think of factors of 24. And our numbers are plus 6 and minus 4, because they multiply to give minus 24 and add to give 2. So I keep my 3 outside, and I write it as x squared plus 6x minus 4x minus 24. I'm going to factor these, split this up, so my 3 stays at the front, okay? And I'm left with x by x plus 6, and I get an x plus 6 on the other side, and I put a minus 4 here, because minus 4 times x plus 6 gives you minus 4x minus 24. So now I put my factors together, so what I have is x plus 6 times x minus 4, and I can't forget the 3 that I took out in the first place as well. Okay? Next one. So let's have a look. So straight away, like I was saying, check is there a common factor. There isn't an x in each part. Is there a number that divides into each part? No, there's no common factor in the number in the numerical part either. So what we do is we go like we did before. Except here, for the x squareds, we don't have 1 at the front, we have 3. So what we have to do, we multiply the 3 by the 10 and we get 30. So I need 30 when I multiply. Okay? And I need plus 17 when I add. So two numbers that multiply to give 30 and add to give 17. Well, 1 and 30 wouldn't work. 2 and 15 works. 2 times 15 is 30. 2 plus 15 is 17. 2, 15, both positive. So I split my middle term. 3x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 10. 2, we split it in half. So now if we look at the first two terms, what's in common? 3x squared, 2x. Well, the 3 and the 2 have no common factor, but the x squared and the x have an x in common. So it's x times 3x plus 2. That 3x plus 2 automatically becomes a factor on the other side. What do I multiply 3x plus 2 by to get 15x plus 10 plus 5? Now we put them together. 3x plus 2 by x plus 5, and there's my factors. I'm done. So let's look, we go down one more. So what do I have? No common factor here. If I look at each part, there's no they don't have a letter in common, they don't have a number in common, so I multiply my 6 by my minus 10, I get minus 60, so I need minus 60 when I multiply, and I need minus 11 when I add. So what are my numbers? Well, if they both multiply to give a negative number, it means one number must be negative and the other must be positive. So 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, negative 15, positive 4. Now you might think that this is difficult to come up with, but with a little bit of practice, just thinking them out and listing the factors, it shouldn't be too difficult, okay? This one is probably more challenging than the other ones, just to get the factors right, but in general it shouldn't be. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. So I'll split it up. 6x squared plus 15, sorry, it should be a minus 15x. Minus 15x plus 4x minus 10. Excuse me. Split them in half. Now, 6x squared and 15x. So what's common between 6 and 15? Well, is it 3? X squared and x, and it becomes x minus 5. Okay, if you multiply 3x by x minus 5, you get 6x, sorry, by 2x minus 5. My mistake, I write it in red, the 2. You get 6x squared minus 15. The 2x minus 5 becomes a factor over here. And what do I have to multiply 2x minus 5 by to get 4x minus 10 plus 2? So there's my factors. 3x plus 2, 2x minus 5, and I'm done. Okay? And that's us finished with that.